I can still hear his voice echoing through the crowded airport gate, loud and sharp, making my world crumble in front of strangers. My name is Sophia, and this is the story of how the man I love turned one beautiful trip into my deepest heartbreak, and how the sky itself delivered justice I never saw coming. We had been together for 3 years. Alex was charming, ambitious, and always knew how to make me feel special, at least in private. I was the one who planned everything, who saved quietly, who believed that love meant creating memories together, not showing off. For our first international getaway to Italy, I used my bonus from work to book 2 tickets. Economy, yes, but comfortable enough for a long flight, with a window seat for him because he always loved watching the clouds dot at the boarding gate. The excitement in the air felt electric. Families laughed, couples held hands, and I stood there holding our passes, smiling at Alex like this was the start of something magical. I handed him his ticket gently. Window seat, just like you asked, babe. We're going to have the best time. His face twisted instantly. He looked at the boarding pass, then at me, and raised his voice so everyone nearby could hear. Economy? Seriously, Sophia? You're putting me in the back like some nobody? Do you know how this makes me look? My friends fly business? People are staring at us right now, thinking I can't afford better. This is embarrassing. My cheeks burned with heat, heads turned. A mother with a stroller paused. An older gentleman lowered his newspaper. I felt so small, so exposed under the bright terminal lights. Alex, please, I whispered, my voice trembling. It's not about the seats. It's about us going together. I saved for months so we could do this. But he didn't lower his voice. You always do this, make cheap choices, and expect me to smile. If you really cared, you would have upgraded us. Now the whole gate thinks I'm with someone who doesn't understand what real standards are. Tears stung my eyes as we walked. Down the jet bridge, I followed him in silence, my heart shattered into pieces. How could the man who once promised me the world speak to me like that in public? I told myself it was just stress, just one bad moment before our romantic trip, but what I didn't know that day was that the real betrayal was waiting in the sky, and the people who would expose it were already on board. Asterisk, the plane doors closed, and we settled into our economy seats, me by the window, him in the middle. The engines roared to life, but the warmth between us had vanished. For the first hour, Alex barely spoke. Then the complaints started, each one heavier than the last. This seat is tiny. My legs are cramped. This is what you planned for our special trip? He muttered, shifting uncomfortably. I tried to stay calm, reaching for his hand. We're together, Alex. That's what matters most. He pulled away sharply. Together in the cheap section while everyone else looks comfortable? You're really okay with making me look small like this? His words cut deep. I stared out at the endless clouds, feeling the weight of every sacrifice I had made. I had covered most of the trip costs because his job was between opportunities. I had worked extra shifts, skipped buying new clothes for myself, all so we could create memories in Italy. Yet here he was, humiliating me again, this time trapped in a metal tube with nowhere to hide. Tears slipped down my face quietly. I wiped them away, but he noticed and sighed loudly. Great, now you're crying. Making a scene so the whole plane feels sorry for you? This is exactly why I get frustrated. You turn everything into drama. That moment broke something inside me. The pain wasn't just from his cruel words anymore. It was the slow, heartbreaking realization that I had been shrinking myself for years to protect his ego. The late nights, he said, were networking. The way he always criticized my choices while enjoying the comfort I provided. The smiles on his phone when he thought I wasn't looking. I sat there, heart heavy, feeling utterly alone, even though he was inches away. The flight attendant passed by offering drinks. Her eyes lingered on me for a second with quiet kindness as she handed me water. Alex ordered a drink and complained it wasn't strong enough. Hours passed in tense silence. The cabin lights dimmed. I closed my eyes, whispering to myself through the ache, I deserve better than this. I am not small. I am not embarrassing. In that darkness, something shifted. The hurt began turning into quiet strength. I realized I had given too much to someone who only took. For the first time, I allowed myself to feel not just sadness, but a deep, steady resolve. I wouldn't let his words define my worth. Not anymore, but what I didn't know was that the universe had been listening, and the flight crew had noticed everything. Asterisk mid-flight. As the cabin grew quiet, the senior flight attendant walked down the aisle with a professional smile. She stopped at our row, looked at Alex, and her expression changed to one of recognition. Excuse me, sir, she said politely but clearly, her voice carrying just enough for nearby rows to hear. Weren't you on our flight to Barcelona last month? Business class, seat 2D. You were with a young woman, dark hair, very affectionate. You kept calling her baby and asked for extra champagne. I remember because you two seemed so close. The words landed like thunder. Alex froze, his face turning pale. You must be mistaken, he stammered, voice suddenly weak. The attendant remained calm and professional. No mistake, sir. I served you both personally and now. This is your girlfriend? She glanced at me with soft, understanding eyes. Several passengers had gone completely silent, listening intently. In that moment, everything clicked into place. The secret trips, the hidden messages, the way he always needed space. My heart shattered further, but this time the pieces felt like they were finally falling into truth instead of lies. The attendant turned to me gently. Ma'am, we have a complimentary upgrade to business class if you'd like to move forward. You deserve a peaceful flight after everything. I nodded, standing up with quiet dignity. Alex reached for my arm, whispering desperately, Sophia, wait, it's not what you think? I looked at him one last time and said softly, it never was it? As the crew escorted me through the curtain into the wide, comfortable business class seats, the entire cabin watched. I sank into the soft leather, a warm blanket around me, and breathed freely for the first time in hours. Behind me, Alex remained in economy, alone, exposed. Surrounded by whispers and judgmental glances, he sent message after message during the rest of the flight. I didn't reply to a single one. When we landed, I walked off that plane a stronger woman. I ended things at the airport, booked my own hotel in Italy, and turned what was supposed to be our trip into my journey of healing. By the time I returned home, our relationship was over. That day taught me a powerful lesson I now carry. In my heart, never let anyone make you feel small for the love and effort you give. Your worth isn't measured by cabin class or someone else's ego. The right people will lift you up, not tear you down to feel bigger. If you're listening, and you've ever been shamed or betrayed by someone who should have cherished you, know this, your upgrade is coming. Sometimes justice arrives at 30,000 feet, delivered with grace and truth. You are enough. You always were. And the sky has a way of revealing what truly matters. Thank you for listening to my story.